Relationships are the heart of our lives, but are we truly connecting? Today we're exploring the art of deepening our connections with others in a meaningful way. Small, intentional actions can transform a relationship. Are you ready to make a difference in your connections? Stay tuned to discover key practices that will bring more closeness and understanding into your relationships. Section 1. The foundation of strong relationships: presence, listening, and vulnerability. Relationships are at the very heart of our lives. They're the source of so much of our happiness, our support, and our sense of belonging. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself if you're truly connecting with the people who matter most? Real, meaningful relationships don't happen by accident. They're built slowly, over time, through intentional actions and choices. If we want deeper, more fulfilling connections, there are 3 foundational qualities we need to bring into our interactions: presence, listening, and vulnerability. These qualities are what transform a casual connection into a relationship that nourishes and uplifts us. Let's begin with presence. To be truly present with someone means giving them your full, undivided attention. Imagine a moment where you felt truly listened to, when the person you were with looked you in the eye, put away all distractions, and really focused on what you were saying. That kind of attention feels rare, doesn't it? In our world today, where distractions are everywhere, it's easy to fall into half listening, half looking, or even half caring, because we're always pulled in so many directions. But when we're with someone, our presence is what makes them feel valued and important. It's what tells them, "You matter to me." Think about it. In so many conversations, people are distracted by their phones or their thoughts. They're thinking about what they'll say next or what's on their to-do list. But what if, instead, we made a conscious choice to put aside those distractions, to silence our phones, look into the other person's eyes, and just listen, fully present? That small action can be incredibly powerful. It says, "I am here with you right now. You have my full attention." The impact of presence is profound. When you're truly present with someone, it opens up a space for real connection to flourish. And even in moments of silence, there's a feeling of closeness, a sense that you're both really there with each other. Presence creates a quality of communication that goes beyond words. It tells the other person that they're valued, respected, and understood. The next essential quality in building stronger relationships is listening. But this isn't just about hearing words. Listening in a relationship means tuning into the emotions, the unspoken feelings, and the deeper message behind what's being said. Often, when people talk, they're sharing more than just facts. They're sharing a part of themselves. Yet how often do we take the time to truly listen without planning our response or jumping in with our own stories? Listening well requires empathy. It means setting aside our own thoughts, our own need to respond, and instead opening ourselves to the other person's experience. Sometimes the most profound gift we can give someone is our full, compassionate attention. Imagine someone sharing a story with you, and instead of thinking about what you'll say next, you're just fully focused on them. You're nodding, you're reflecting their emotions back, and you're letting them know, "I hear you, and I'm with you." Reflect back what you hear, maybe with a simple phrase like, "That sounds challenging," or "I can see why that matters to you." Small words can let the other person know that you understand, that you're on their side. It's a subtle but powerful way to say, "You are seen, and I'm here to listen." Let's take a moment to think about a time when someone really listened to you. How did it make you feel? Maybe it was a friend, a partner, or a family member. They gave you their full attention, listened without interrupting, and made you feel completely heard. In those moments, there's a warmth, a sense of connection that words can't quite capture. When we take the time to listen this way, we invite a depth of connection that goes beyond what we say. It's a feeling, a presence that says, I care about you. Finally, there's vulnerability. Vulnerability is the willingness to share our true selves, our fears, our struggles, our hopes. It's a quality that goes beyond the surface. When we're vulnerable, we're giving others permission to be their true selves as well. It creates a space where both people can be open, honest, and real, but vulnerability isn't always easy. It can feel uncomfortable to open up and show parts of ourselves that we might prefer to keep hidden. Yet it's in these moments of vulnerability that we build trust and intimacy. Imagine a time when you shared something deeply personal with someone, maybe a fear or a challenge you were going through. When we share these moments, we're allowing others to see us as we are, flawed, human, and real. And often it's in these moments of vulnerability that others feel closest to us. They see our courage in sharing, and in turn they feel safe to share their own stories and struggles. Vulnerability isn't about oversharing, it's about being authentic, about showing up as our true selves even when it feels a little uncomfortable. By embracing vulnerability, we're building a bridge of trust. We're saying, I trust you enough to show you who I am, and I invite you to do the same. And over time, this trust can transform a relationship. As Helen Keller beautifully said, the best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. True connection isn't about grand gestures or perfect words. It's about shared understanding, openness, and honesty. When we bring presence, listening, and vulnerability into our relationships, we create a foundation where connection, trust, and understanding can truly grow. Think about the relationships in your own life. Are there ways you could bring a little more presence, a little more listening, or a little more vulnerability into those connections? Imagine how that might shift the relationship, how it might bring a deeper sense of closeness, support, and warmth. These qualities are the keys to unlocking relationships that are not only strong, but deeply fulfilling. Section 2. Key practices for deepening connections, acts of appreciation, and creating shared moments. Once we're present, listening, and open, the next step in nurturing our relationships is to bring intentional practices that keep our connections strong. Here are 2 simple but transformative ways to deepen our bonds, acts of appreciation and creating shared moments. Let's start with appreciation. Showing appreciation doesn't require grand gestures. In fact, some of the most powerful expressions of gratitude are the simplest. Think about how you feel when someone says, I appreciate you, or thank you for being there. These words are small, but they carry weight. They remind us that we're valued, that we're seen, and that our presence in someone's life matters. In relationships, expressing appreciation regularly is like adding fuel to a fire. It keeps the warmth alive. Appreciation can look different depending on the relationship. With a romantic partner, it might be acknowledging the little things they do, like making coffee in the morning or offering a listening ear after a long day. With a friend, appreciation might mean letting them know you value their support or their unique perspective. Even in our family relationships, a simple "thank you for being you" can make a person feel deeply valued. Studies show that relationships in which appreciation is openly expressed tend to be stronger and more resilient. Why? Because appreciation creates a positive feedback loop. When we feel appreciated, we're more likely to give back in kind, to do more for the other person, to show more kindness and patience. This builds a culture of gratitude within the relationship where each person feels safe, valued, and respected. Think about someone in your life you appreciate. Maybe it's a friend, a sibling, a partner. What could you say to let them know how much they mean to you? How might a small expression of gratitude strengthen your relationship? Take a moment to consider this and remember that appreciation, no matter how small, has a way of bringing people closer together. The second practice for deepening relationships is creating shared moments. Shared moments are the memories we create together, the experiences that become part of our personal story with someone. These moments don't have to be elaborate. Sometimes it's the simplest activities, having a meal together, going for a walk, or just sitting in comfortable silence that create the strongest bonds. Imagine a friendship or relationship where you feel especially close to the other person. If you think about why, it's often the shared experiences you've had together that stand out. Those shared moments become like threads that weave a strong connection over time. Maybe it's the memory of a road trip, a rainy day spent indoors, or a conversation that lasted until sunrise. These moments give us a foundation of trust and joy to draw from, especially when times are tough. Let's consider a small example. Take Sarah and Michael, a couple who had started to drift apart after years together. They realized that their busy lives had kept them from really connecting, so they decided to start small. They began leaving each other thank you notes, making time for coffee dates, and planning moments to simply be together with no distractions. Over time, these small gestures, these shared moments of appreciation, brought them closer, rekindling the love and trust they'd nearly lost. Sometimes it's these little gestures, the unplanned but intentional time spent together, that create a reservoir of positive feelings. And when difficult times come, these memories of shared moments can act like an anchor, a reminder of the joy and support you've built together. How can you create more of these shared relationships? It doesn't have to be complicated. Set aside time, even if it's just an hour a week, to do something simple together. Maybe it's cooking a meal, going for a walk, or just talking without the rush of daily life. Being intentional about this time shows the other person that they're important to you, that you value the connection you share. Acts of appreciation and creating shared moments are like building blocks in a relationship. Each small gesture of gratitude, each experience shared, strengthens the foundation of trust and closeness. And when these practices become a habit, they transform a relationship from something ordinary into something deeply fulfilling. When we approach our relationships with appreciation and shared moments, we're making an investment in connection, in understanding, and in joy. Each act of gratitude, each shared experience, adds to the foundation we build with those we care about. These practices may seem small on their own, but over time they become the fabric of a relationship that is both strong and meaningful. Thank you for joining me in exploring these practices that deepen our relationships. By being present, listening with empathy, embracing vulnerability, and nurturing our connections with appreciation and shared moments, we're laying the foundation for bonds that are not only strong, but life-giving. Relationships are one of life's greatest sources of joy and support. Let's give them the time and care they deserve. Thank you for joining me in exploring the practices that strengthen our relationships. By being present, listening with empathy, embracing vulnerability, and nurturing our connections with appreciation and shared moments, we're laying the foundation for deeper, more meaningful bonds in our lives. Relationships are one of life's greatest sources of joy and support. Let's give them the time and care they deserve. Next time, we'll dive into a powerful mindset that transforms not only relationships, but every area of our lives, the growth mindset. We'll uncover how embracing challenges and resilience can open doors to personal and relational growth. If today's episode brought value to you, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to stay tuned for more insights on the Art of Happiness series.